this is Brian Vavericek.
And I'm Audrey Yedlichka.
And welcome to our first Schuyler Area Chamber of Commerce podcast. And I'd like to introduce one of our rural fellows here, Lydia Bank, who is going to be helping us with this inaugural podcast.
Tutoring us from start to finish.
And we have a very special guest with us as well.
Yes, so like they said, I'm Lydia Bank. I'm the rural fellow here, and I'm very excited to be doing this with everyone. And our special guest here, we've got Brian Vavericek with us. And so, Brian, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe give us some insight on what all you're involved with in the Schuyler community.
Well, great. Thank you, Lydia. I've had to been educated what a podcast is, so this is a new experience for me too. And just wanted to start off by saying commend you three for doing this and helping get telling our own story and getting a positive message out there. And so, a little bit about myself is born and raised here in Schuyler, and had the opportunity to serve on a number of different capacities here in the Schuyler area. I guess over the last 10 years, I've served on the Board of Education for Schuyler Community Schools. And one of the subcommittees that has taken a lot of my time with that is the Schuyler Community Schools Foundation. And so I've been able to serve on that board for those same 10 years. In addition to that, also serve on the Schuyler Community Development Board, and then get to coach some youth girls basketball as well. So that's a number of the things that I get to be involved in here in Schuyler. And outside of that, my day job is I live outside of town, northeast of town, and farm corn and soybeans on our farm.
That's great. Well, I commend you for your involvement within the Schuyler community. And I myself am a young person. So what advice could you offer someone like me who maybe is on the fence about being involved in different things? What kind of benefits could I reap if I were just to take that step and be involved?
Sure. Good question. Oddly enough, I think of a lot of things with music and song, and I love music, live music, and the answer to that question that jumps out to me is in a song, one of my favorite songs, and it's and a couple of lines in it is, "If not us, then who?" And "If not now, then when?" Right. And I guess is probably the message when it comes to volunteering that I would share with other people. And I like that it's if not us, it's not if not you or if not me,
right,
it's
right.
If not us. So whatever needs to be done, whether there's something that needs to be planned or something that needs to be cleaned or somebody that needs help, if it's not you and me doing it together, who better than us to do it? And what better time than right now? I guess is what what I really believe in. Now that gets me in trouble sometimes because I think my wife and my family and would like me to have that mentality a little bit less and say yes less often. But that's just kind of my mentality that if there's something that needs to be done, you don't wait for somebody else to do it. Right. You pick up the shovel and you start digging, or you just jump in and go. And I think also that sometimes what prevents people from getting involved in volunteering is they're not sure that they'll be good at it, or they know what to do or how to do it. And there's another saying that I kind of live by, and I'll kind of explain it, is fake it till you make it. And I'm not.
There's a lot of truth there.
There's a lot of truth.
And and I don't mean like be fake. I mean, because everybody wants to be original and genuine. But as a school board member, I was never a teacher or administrator, or I was the I was the problem that the teachers and the administrators were trying to deal with. But it was a group of people suggested that I serve in that capacity, and I just thought, well, you're crazy, but gave it some thought and some prayer, and decided to, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna educate myself the best and and surround myself with the people that were going to help me be successful. And so that would be my suggestion, that if there's an opportunity to serve on any board, or any, if there's any opportunity to help somebody else, don't wait till you're ready. I mean, now's the time, and you'll learn on the fly, and that's what I would say.
Is there, or was there, a specific instance that pushed you, so to speak, into becoming involved in a certain organization?
People asked me, and I guess I kind of consider myself a guy that's busy enough the way it is that I'm not really looking for extra things to do. But as far as the board goes, there was a group that was concerned about a number of things, and they approached me about being the one to serve on the board. And when it came to the Schuyler Community Development, our former director Kim Cavanaugh was the one that reached out to me, and it just took somebody asking, I guess. And so that's probably a message for the leaders of our community and of these boards, that you just can't be afraid to ask, because what's the worst that can happen? You can get turned down and somebody will say no. But outside of that, I guess I was just asked, and like I said, had some conversation with my wife and my family, and some prayer, and then that's what got me going on those things, I guess.
And I just think of, why our community? I mean, we live here, and so the only way to make it better is to get involved and do that. But I mean, why community? You're on the board at the school too, and obviously you have young kids, so you've got the passion. But you also have a passion for the community. It does speak. I know SCD sees it, but we see you out there. You're also, what do I want to say, supporting all kinds of things.
Well, there's a lot to support, and they're worthy things to support. So I'm happy to do it.
Yeah.
So what melts your heart about Schuyler? You're a Schuyler lifer. I know you bleed green and white.
He has green on today, so
yes.
appropriate.
Yeah.
I love
Wearing
that
the
you
logo.
walked in with it. Yes.
Well, geez, Brian, that's a pretty mushy question there that you're asking.
Just bringing it down.
Just know we were going to get touchy-feely today, huh?
Yeah, I guess to bring feelings and emotion into it. I guess I would, I really can't say anything other than this Schuyler. There's a lot of things I love about Schuyler, but what melts my heart, I mean, it's where I was born and raised, where my wife was born and raised, and where where we're both from, and this is where my wife is at. This is where my family is at, and I know that we have a lot of people that have moved into this town or immigrated here and don't have the privilege that I do, where so much of my family is close here. But my wife's parents are here in town. My parents are here in town. So that's what is really pulls at my heartstrings. It's home. It's home. It's where my family and friends are at, and that doesn't mean that I don't get excited for the opportunity to meet new people, getting to meet you today, Lydia, and excited what you're doing and how you're helping us out here in Schuyler. But there's new people moving into this town all the time, and I welcome the opportunity to make new friends and get to meet those people as well.
Yeah. That is something that I'd like to just add on to real briefly, is that as someone who's come in outside this community, it doesn't matter that I'm not here for a lifetime, that it's just 10 short weeks that I'm here, but
Unless we keep her.
Right. There's some convincing people have been trying to do it. I don't know. I'm kind of falling for it, but that is something that I cannot speak enough about, is how welcoming you people are in Schuyler, of just how embracing it is of just walking in here, and like you said, of wanting to know new people. And I can't go anywhere without having a conversation with someone. That's something I've really been appreciative of and loved about Schuyler so far. So
I'm glad that you got a warm welcome. That's very good.
Exactly. I got another thought and question for you. What do you think, and it's not quite as mushy, but what's the most important thing that you think you've learned in your life? I mean, you're so young. You have a lot of learning yet to do, but you've experienced some things, no doubt.
Okay. Well, so we've got the facts out about what I'm involved in, and then we got the emotional mushy side, and we'll go we'll go to the spiritual side right now, because when it comes to order of importance, for me, God is number one. I mean, that's because the question was what's
the most important thing you've learned in your life?
That is what's the most important thing that I've learned, because that's what's most important to me. And that's something that I've had to learn over my years, because being a husband and being a father, those are right up there. I mean, those are it's an amazing thing to get to be able to do those things, and getting to serve on these boards and meeting new people and seeing the things, the positive change that comes from the efforts that we make working on these boards is awesome and amazing, but God's number one in my faith, and that doesn't mean that have to go to church every Sunday or do this or that. It's having your priorities in order and putting faith in God first, and then if He opens those doors for you to serve on these boards, or it's just, if your eyes are open to the opportunities and the work that God does, it's those opportunities are there all around you. So that's what I've learned is that's number one, and if you keep those priorities in order, then things seem to work out pretty well.
Fantastic.
That's awesome. Well, we're so glad that you were able to join us today, Brian, and I think you're a wonderful representation of how great the people here in Schuyler are, and so we're glad that you were able to be our first guest, and we're excited to have more others from Schuyler and the community on here, and so again, we can't thank you enough for coming in and answering these questions, even if they did get a little mushy for you.
I'm just glad I asked. So, again, thank you very much for coming in and participating and giving the world the opportunity to hear you worldwide via podcast.
That's our hope. We're going to get Schuyler out there on the map. But yeah, and we appreciate all that you do for our community. So
thanks for your efforts. Keep up the great work of spreading the good news, the positive message, because there's a lot of it to share with others. So great job. I appreciate it too.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.